recently, I started building my first ever custom theme park in Planet Coaster 2. Because, you know, I hadn't done one in the first game and there's so much new in the new game that I thought I must do it now. And in the first episode, I built the entire entrance area and also our first roller coaster, all with this sort of Greek epic universe style theme. Greek universe, and I was really happy with how that came out. But since then, and in this episode, you will see that I have actually finished that area now, including that coaster and even a brand new flat ride. There was actually an idea from someone in the comments section, so thank you. And talking of comments, I have picked out some names for the area and those rides too. There is so much to go through in this episode, but before we begin, if you aren't already, then please be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers now, so any help towards that goal, it'd be greatly appreciated. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Planet Coaster Custom Theme Park series. And as I said right at the start, there is so much going on, not only in the time lapse, but when I get to show you the entire area at the end of this video. I don't know how I'm going to fit it all in because this video could go on forever. But as you can see, we're starting off in the park, obviously. And the coaster we made last time, if you remember, I had this first section that was very sort of, you know, just meandering along very gracefully. And then it hits that second launch and it goes... But yeah, that first half is a lot slower and you can sort of take things more in, take theming in, and actually appreciate the surroundings. So this is why I've actually decided to enclose the entire start of the ride. I tried to use the scenery brush there with a custom rock formation, but it just went completely wrong. But I managed to make amends to it anyway. But this inside section, of course, you can see it's a lot of green walls. That won't be the case on the inside. That's just the warehouse I'm going to do because I'm trying to make it realistic. But the inside will be all blacked out, there'll be loads of theming, and the sort of vibe we're going for with that theming. I know this is a Greek area, so we're sort of going with that Greek mythology theme that they have in the game already, which has been really helpful. But the sort of storyline I was thinking about is the fact that there's a Greek temple that is going to be built right there, and you might see it in the background in just a second, because I did skip out a lot. And I apologise deeply for that. But that Greek temple won't be modern and pristine like the rest of the park is so far. It will be run down and abandoned because when you go into the queue line and you're sort of around it, you'll see loads of different ruins, and then you'll see that something inside has gone a bit wrong. And whilst you're on the coaster, you disturb the inner guardian who is keeping guard of the temple. You could just see the temple there. And yeah, it's a bit of a weird storyline, but I'll explain it more later on. What's more important is these flat rides. I was going to make two, like you could briefly see, but they didn't fit because the flat ride plot for these things is massive still. Please, Frontier, fix that. I mean, it's not the only thing they need to fix, is it? But yeah, as you can see, I've placed down that massive flat ride plot. Just the one. I feel like I was going to do two for sort of throughput purposes. That's why I went to do two. But obviously, yeah, didn't fit. But I'm quite happy with how this ends up looking because you don't see these often in real life, these monsoon chute rides, so I thought I'd have to do a good job of sort of theming it in. It's quite a landmark thing when you walk into the park because I think you can see it from the main entrance just over the trees, which is quite cool. But yeah, it just literally goes up and splashes back down again. Sounds like a really boring ride, but if you have a splash zone in front of it, I'm sure everyone gets soaked. And as you can see, I'm doing some Greek theming up the sides there. Obviously, you can only do so much with the flat ride there. And I actually use the attached scenery thing soon to attach some theming to the ride car itself as it goes up and down. And that's the thing. I know earlier I said, like literally a minute ago, that Frontier need to fix so many things. I think the attached scenery and the scenery brush, the scaling tool, the new coasters that we've seen and these new flat rides and stuff, I think it is very much outweighing some of the negatives because, well, I mean, there's a lot of bugs and stuff like I've mentioned previously, and they mostly are getting fixed. I've noticed it especially with this park because guests just don't seem to work properly. I don't really know why. My Vekoma coaster you can see in the background that will soon have a name, that literally had a 0-minute wait when I opened it to guests just to see how they would react to it, and it just, they didn't want to go on it. 0-minute wait, too long. How dare it have 0 minutes on it. But luckily, I won't be opening the park to guests anytime soon, because I'll probably do that when we're maybe halfway through the park, or maybe when I make my water park eventually. That'll be really fun to do. But as you can see, so far, let's actually just talk about what's going on now, because I just seem to tangent and run off and waffle every time. I'm actually building more theming around this flat ride. I'll build some planters and stuff soon as well. The pathing tool there did some weird little plaza in front, so you can get splashed, because you could see the splashes occasionally. They're huge. Doing the background a little bit, just sort of backing it up with some theming behind it. The reason I actually do like this ride type as well is because you can't really spin round or flip and see that warehouse when you're all the way up in the sky. Whereas a drop tower, there's obviously seats all around the tower, so you'd be able to see it, and other rides as well, you just spin and flip and see the warehouse, and it would ruin the immersion. So to have a ride that's just facing one direction, and it goes up, goes down, and that's it, you won't be able to see behind you. So it keeps the immersion hidden. Well, no, it keeps the immersion there and keeps the warehouses and bad stuff hidden. There you go. Because on the coaster as well, I was worried about that with the coaster, because there's a bit towards the main entrance, and you sort of go around a few like ravines and stuff now, and you go up into that inversion, sort of to the left of this ride. You can see it on screen, and I was worried you'd be able to see the warehouse there, but I ended up covering that all with theming and stuff, so we got there eventually. And I have really enjoyed playing this game, as much as there are bugs, and of course I've just been experimenting the whole time. I am getting slightly better. You'll see some stuff at the entrance area and in this ride that probably isn't the best, but over time, I will get better. I promise. And at that point in the time lapse, I was making the ride logo / entrance signs, which obviously gives away the names. So we're going to go into the real-time park now and go through those names and the entire area I've done. There's still a bit unfinished, but who cares? Welcome back, everyone, to the park. We are here at the main entrance once again, and as you can see, this is probably the first view we've got of the new rides in the park. Of course, the coaster we saw last time, and that flat ride. Yeah, you can see it from here, and I think it fits quite well. I don't think it looks too out of place. It might do at night because it's pretty much a fun fair ride, but oh well. And we'll come through, and as you can see, one update to notice already is a massive lake that I've stuck in the center, and I've sort of put like a ramp at the back for another area or something, or like pathways to go off back there. Not too sure what I'm going to do. Maybe there's a centerpiece back there or something. But yeah, if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. But over on the left as you walk in, we have the information desk and all of these Greek buildings. Now, I can't lie to you, I spent a lot of time just building these over the past week, but I really wanted to make at least one street area that sort of has this nice like atmosphere to it, and obviously that's not finished yet. What? Are you alright there? Going down this way is the main gateway to the Greek area. Now, I know we're sort of in the Greek area already, but this is sort of the temple ruins bit, which is going to be called Olympus, and that name comes from delicious fishy, so thank you for that. Up in the area of Olympus is the entire area here. Now, you can already see the entrance signs for the two rides, so I may as well go through those names first. The Vekoma double launch coaster is called Talos, which was a name suggested by Martin Harder, and I was slightly confused by this name at first, but it literally in Greek mythology is someone who was a guardian of, I think, a god or something. So I think for the fact that inside this building there's a sort of ruined temple and this guardian is awoken and you've sort of disturbed the peace inside, I think that's a pretty good name. And over here is the Splash Flat Ride, which we're going to get splashed by, aren't we? Oh my god. I've gone for the name Poseidon, and that was suggested by Thirsty for Airtime. Well, I mean, a lot of people suggested that name alongside the coaster because people wanted that to be called Poseidon. But I thought it really fit this sort of ride, and especially because the person that suggested it, Thirsty for Airtime, did say that I should do one of those huge splash rides, the drop tower thing. So yeah, a fantastic idea, and I think it worked really well. Over here as well on the coaster, we have the transfer track / maintenance bay. I only just fit this in. I don't really know how I did it, but it is located inside this building here. The trains being small actually help for that one, I think. And of course, the queue line for the ride, and also the sort of queue line for this ride too. So what do we look at? Well, hang on, let's explain why this bit isn't themed at all first. So this bit isn't themed at all, along with the exit of the ride actually not being complete either, because I'm struggling to think of what to do when it comes to another area. Of course, if we're going to build another area here, which we're going to try and use the most space possible, so we probably will build one here, I don't want to waste my time theming all of this area up to have another area here contrast the theme of this one completely, and then have an awful looking dynamic of this blue and white coaster next to whatever's going to go there. So I'm going to leave this for a little bit, and then I will work on that when we come to our next area, which will probably be in the next episode, so stay tuned. But with that being said, and the fact we're not going to finish that area for a little while, as I promised last time in the previous episode, let's go and POV Talos. And here we go into the first scene where the fire is taking place, and as you can see, something goes a bit wrong in here. Oh no, loud sounds, falling rocks. We've disturbed the Guardian, guys. And here we go. As you can see, there is Talos, or the Guardian as you want to call it. He throws his staff down, water splashes everywhere. And here we go. I won't pan the camera too much. There's some ruins again inside the ruins. A staff animatronic coming across. And then we go over here. There's some waterfalls over the rings as well. And then, oh, he's staring at us, but look, his head follows us out. How epic. And then out we go through the mist and into the outside layout. There are parts of this that probably could be a bit smoother, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. Again, my first proper custom coaster in this game, so it's not going to be perfect. Through the zero-G stall-esque thing there. I do like that near miss of the bridge. Get down there. And yeah, there's a lot of theming work to do still in the Greek area, I think. It's not all finished yet. But it's looking pretty decent around the roll. And this bit was actually, I reprofiled a lot of this, so it sort of goes into a little wave turn now. And then goes into a high speed, sort of low to the ground, highly banked turn as well. That used to just be a helix, but I changed that round. Into another mid-course. Some theme in there. And then all of this bit will be done nearer at the time we make another area. The final barrel roll. Whoa. And into the brakes. And yes, as you may have seen, the planes are still on the front of this coaster car. I was going to theme it up, but they've sort of hinted that we're going to get like actual sort of no themed coaster trains, so we can actually do what we want with them. So I'm hoping we get one for this and I can do it then. And yeah, taking a look over here, it's pretty much a complete area. We'll just ignore, you know, over here where we're going to work on that soon. But I am genuinely really happy with how this came out. I've even got an ice cream stand down here, you know. Oh, what a place. I could live here. Might as well just move to Greece if I'm saying that. Yes, the first area is now done. So the next episode you see of this park will be building a brand new themed area. So please leave suggestions down below for what you want to see, because I'll also be building a coaster in there too. If you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this Planet Coaster 2 video. Be sure to check out the first episode on screen right now. Well, I would have hoped you would have watched that one before this one. But, you know, why not? Subscribe.